Hey there, I'm Jeremy Watson. I'm a product manager here at GitLab. I'm really excited to talk a little bit about what's coming up in 12.5, and I'm going to specifically cover the managed stage of the DevOps lifecycle. You notice that we're on a different page. We previously had our kickoff information on a Google Doc. We've now pulled that out. We have a dedicated page for it on about.gitlab.com. So whenever you're curious about what's coming up in a future release, feel free to take a look at this page. I'm going to talk a little bit about these 5 issues here, starting with preventing accidental deletions. So in 12.4, we started off an effort to introduce the concept of soft deletion in GitLab. We're going to extend that to include groups as well. The problem that we want to solve here is really preventing data loss in GitLab instances and kind of allowing you to kind of like restore projects and groups for a limited period of time before they actually become hard deleted and challenging to recover. So we're going to extend from projects into groups, make sure that you have a comprehensive coverage and some protection against data loss. There are 3 analytics improvements that I'm really excited about. The first one is around extending this concept around type of work into productivity analytics. And we introduced productivity analytics in 12.3, which is a great start. But one thing that engineering managers are curious about is kind of like, what kind of work is my team actually shipping, merging? And there are products in the marketplace like Git Prime that have concepts around like refactoring, churn, and new work that kind of try to represent the type of work and that's being merged in on a daily basis. So we're curious about exploring that and helping engineering managers understand the cadence of their team's productivity. So here in 12.5, we're going to introduce that concept between refactoring, churn, and new work so that you'll be able to track that on a group and project level kind of over time. The other change I'm really interested about to see in the product is really around code hotspots. So we started on MVC on this in previous releases, but we're narrowing down on a MVC that's really around understanding commit history on a file-by-file basis. So switching over to like a quick mock of this, we previously had wireframes and concept like that allowed you to really understand based on color, like how often and how like rapidly you're committing to a particular file. In future iterations, we're interested in like allowing you to drill down at the group level into like particular projects or particular files. For the first iteration, we're going to just start at the file level and allowing you to color code and understand based off of the heat of a particular file, like how often you're actually committing to that. So I think this is going to be the first iteration on a really interesting feature. It's going to really allow you to understand, like at a high level, what files, what's changing in a rapid basis, and then the first 30 days. And there are further improvements that are planned for code hotspots. But for this MVC, we're really interested in getting it into the market and getting your feedback. So if this is something you're interested in, we'd really love to hear from you once you've had a chance to use it. And I think the last analytics feature I'm really excited about is around customizable stages. So cycle analytics is a really interesting feature in GitLab. It's probably the oldest analytics tool in the application, but it's somewhat rigid in the way and prescriptive in the way that GitLab wants you to use it. And the feedback that we've constantly heard from enterprises is that we want to be able to customize that based off of like events that I can define. So you'll be able to do that in 12.5. You'll be able to add specific stages and areas to cycle analytics that are based off of events that you define. So there'll be there's a number of events that you can kind of sieve out in this issue that are numerous and allow you to really customize the stages kind of to your liking. And this is kind of the first MVC that we're shipping in a category that we're calling it's known around the industry as value stream management. So we're excited to get this out and iterate a little further thanks to your feedback. I think the last issue that I'll talk to is this idea of policies, and fine-grained access control is always something that especially large instances have always asked for. And I think that we want to start trying to solve this problem in a flexible way that you can apply different policies to specific projects that can meet your needs. The way that we're going to start on this is allowing you to kind of define a policy base first that you can apply to a specific project, because some projects might be critical applications that have like very relatively strict rules, And others might be user sourcing projects that are developer focused and might not have those same types of roles. So the way that we're starting with this is being able to create a policy that will deny access to certain parts of a project, whether it be the repository or the operations panel, based off of like a user's membership in a particular group. And the problem that we want to solve with this is really around separation of duties, where you have like a dev team that is a member of a group that identifies them as developers, and you have members of an ops team that is also in the group. You should be able to keep those two worlds separate and allow like an operations team to only deal with ops and not be able to access or see the repository. So I think that that's a really exciting request that we're excited to explore kind of in 12.5. I think there's a lot of other great things in store across 12.5 that we're excited to ship. So 12.5 is going to be shipping in November 22nd, and I'm really excited to get it to the market and to get your feedback on it. So hopefully you like what you see, and excited to get to hear what you think. Thanks a lot.